Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Beyonce's Black is King. Apparently Africans are reacting to this thriller and it doesn't seem like fun to them. I appreciate this, but I just feel like the African American community, they appreciate it more, while the other African part, which is maybe immigrant Africa's in Nigeria, Africa's in Ghana, in other parts of Africa, they are like they feel they feel somehow about it, because some people are saying that Beyonce is making up her own Wakanda, which is like a fairy tale Africa, that kind of a thing. So here are some reactions I got from Bella Naija Online on Instagram. Somebody said, Black Americans have created for themselves an Africa that is weird, humongous, exotic fantasy. It is in fact a separate mythical country with no resemblance to any country in the real Africa. And someone else said, they aren't creating Africa, they are reimagining a space that is more like Wakanda. Maybe what a much better Africa could have been. I don't think any African American thinks Africa is some utopia. Well, with these two comments, I have like 3 more comments to read, but these other comments, what they're trying to say is that this is like a fantasy world that Beyonce is creating. Like, yes, it's a fantasy in a way because it's her imagination, even if she's using like the African costume. The problem I have with this thriller personally is that Beyonce is representing Africa, and she's representing Africa in a generalized form. She's making Africa a country, which is an issue. When it comes to the international world, everybody thinks Africa is a country. Africa is a freaking continent, an entire continent with 54, I guess, 52 or 54. I'll put the number up. I'm not sure, 52 or 54 countries in Africa with diverse cultures. In Nigeria alone, we have over 500 languages. We have over 250 ethnic groups with different cultures. Beyonce mostly uses Yoruba culture in Nigeria. One of her videos, she was talking about Orisha. Orisha is a god of the Western Nigeria. Is one of the god that they serve, and she's using that mixed with some culture from Kenya and East Africa, you know, and just she's taking bits from here and there and generalizing it and calling it Africa. And it's our culture. And many people are not happy with the fact that she's taking our culture and mixing with another culture and saying that it's Africa as a country, or insinuating that it's Africa as a country, that kind of thing. And then why I believe the Wakanda vibe is because towards the end of that thriller, there was like a young boy that was coming down from the sky like a shooting star. That's like the Wakanda kind of theme, you know, that I got the vibe. Then the part where there was a child, she mixed some part from like the Jewish culture also, because she got a child. Like in the thriller, it showed that there was a basket in the water, just like how Moses was put in the water in the Bible, and she grabbed the child in the beginning, and then they showed water with this basket. You know, that's a Jewish culture, you know, in my opinion. And someone else, let me go ahead and read. So someone else said, Afrofuturism has its merits. My issue is when it's all about the Wakandanization of Africa. The same way Nigerians abroad have the luxury of crafting a giddy bubble that is about suya, owambe, small chops, and fine native. we shouldn't only be represented in extremes of poverty or royalty. Yes, this is another point. So I noticed that with most of the representation in that thriller, it was like hot houses, mud houses, and that's like still putting out the narratives that that is how we still live in Africa. Beyonce is very, very influential. If there's anyone that should project Africa in the exact way it is right now, it's her, you know, because she has a lot of, you know, followers and a lot of people looking up to her. I don't buy the part where she like still used like mud houses, made people wear the ancient attire. You know, I don't even know how to really explain what I'm explaining. It's not a bad thing that they dressed in the ancient African way, because she made a statement in that thriller and said, we have our ancestors never left us, something like that. So I see that she's trying to, you know, refer back to the roots, you know, the African roots and everything. But what I'm saying is I wish she went and did more in-depth research and like, you know, focus on one culture. Or even if she's going to combine the culture, let her get people from those groups of, you know, the way she had those people gather and dance. Let her get like the Kenyans representing their culture. Then she would have gotten like maybe a specific group in South Africa, you know, just representing South Africa but representing their culture. A specific group from, if she had like 52 groups representing from all 52 countries in Africa, or 54 groups, or 54, I don't even know, I'm not sure of the number, you know, that would have even sent home the chills to every single person. But this video feels like she's just focusing and talking to African Americans, because African immigrant Africans and African in Africa cannot actually relate to the video. It doesn't look to me, I can't relate because I don't understand. Yeah, I know, I'm like looking out for my culture to find my culture, and I'm seeing all this mix and I'm confused. I'm like, wait, who's this, what's this, you know? But like African Americans would be like, oh yeah, oh, this is so beautiful, African culture, this is my culture, you know. No, that's even what Beyonce showed there is not my culture. I cannot find anything that's my culture. You know, I am Igbo Nigerian, and maybe I'll put a picture of the way a typical Igbo woman would dress up, or the way an ancient Igbo woman dressed up in those days, you know. And looking at what Beyonce did, it feels like it was just, I don't know, it's not bad. I'm not like, you know, talking down on her work, but I'm just saying it looks ignorant, you know. That's another point. It just looks ignorant. It looks ignorant to me, because it just feels like, I guess that's what the person who said the Wakandanization, you know, trying to make Wakanda is just a cliche. It doesn't look real. Someone else commented and said, can Africans just be portrayed as like normal human beings, like go shops, watch a film, eat some food, complain about recent rent prices, complain about their boss, everyday spiritual ritual, and ancient ancestors showing them their royal blood? I don't understand what this person means, but I think this person is trying to say, instead of always showing Africa in the hut, dancing to one lion sound and all those things, can't you just show us in our normal lives? You know, we have normal lives, we have houses, we have kids. Why not show like an African man with his kids and his family, you know, instead of always focusing on the part where he's behaving like an animal, lion in the forest, we're running, you know, all those kind of things. But I think the idea is selling for her, especially with the African American community. That idea of Africa is really like, African culture is really making profits for her. She's staying relevant. Exactly, that's the word. She's staying relevant with that. So she just decided to just continue, and plus all the racism that went on, that has been going on, and with the Floyd issue that went on this year, and everybody protesting. This is a smart thing for her to do by saying Africa is and black is king. Somebody else said, people hating Beyonce for the thriller, but your own Africa today is a white man's fantasy. You've taken their cultures, religion, language, and habits, but that doesn't bother you. You are more concerned with talking down on people who are trying to reconnect with their roots. Let me put it that way. This Beyonce, nobody is talking down on her work, but we're just saying, me in particular. I'm just saying I wish she did more. She had more in-depth research, you know, before she put this together. I don't know how much research she had, but with the composition and compilation of the different cultures, it just seems that it only connects to African Americans, you know. Get your point, but her images of Africa are mostly fictional. Africa ain't Wakanda. Not every criticism is malicious. Exactly my point. You know, the image, like the kind of things she showed in the trailer, just felt that's not real. That's not how it is. You know, how come? How did you come up with this? You know, this is just like me showing maybe a picture of an African American and making it look very, very white in complexion. It's gonna look fake, you know. That's basically how I felt watching the tree. It's really somehow. Someone else said all the Africans that got shit to say about Beyonce proudly proclaiming and showing off African cultures and life that isn't hers, have villages and know where they are from. AAs don't have that. They want to identify with us because they don't even know where they are from. The thing is, it's not a bad thing that Beyonce is trying to create a link back to Africa, you know, trying to trace it's not a bad thing that African Americans are trying to trace their root back to Africa and everything. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna do that, do it the right way. Don't create and trace a link back to another fiction or fantasy. Someone else said, when you're privileged, equality feels like oppression. I will not be dictating how descendants of Africa should reimagine their ancestry. It's part of their own healing process, and I'm here for whatever comes from connecting with it, especially if it inspires power or pride. Yeah, this is another point of view. I understand that this is what Beyonce is trying to do, but then again, I say, I wish she put some substance of realness, because African Americans are real people. They are real Africans. They came from somewhere. They have roots. If you're going to trace the roots, just do it properly. That's just what I'm saying in my opinion. If you haven't seen the trailer, just check out Black is King trailer by Beyonce. I think it's supposed to be airing on the 31st of July. I just decided to like make this quick video about my reaction before I see the whole thing. This is just snippets, you know. When I see the whole thing, I'll come back and say what I think about it. But this is like my opinion, and also other people's opinion that I found on Instagram. You know, tell me what your opinion is. Have you seen the trailer? If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comment. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to come back. Have a good one. Ciao.